going fishing Sunday?
I am. Let's go.
Let's go.
I am.
I'm in.
What? Wait. Can you put that cat down?
Yeah.
The cat's in.
I was trying to be a Bond villain. I apologize.
Yeah.
It's warm by this fire, Buck.
We're not even in the fire. We need to jump in the current.
We got to cool off in the current.
I just want everyone to know, I mean, we say it all the time. You have 7 best friends when you tune into us every week.
And it's wild because we used to say that, but now it's so real.
And it was just a real existential morning, guys.
Got all existential.
Did you short drift them?
Well,
That's a yes.
That's what the Canadians say, no bueno.
No bueno.
If there is a traditional Canadian saying, no bueno.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. We are in the current. And this is Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you outdoors by connecting you with the skills, products, and people that you can trust.
you can trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Kyle, and who do I have with me?
I'm Will.
It's Bucky.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Fellas.
Hey,
What's
buddy.
up?
Whoa.
It's been a while.
Hey, hold on a second.
It's been so long. You have a full beard.
I need Bucky to do me a favor. Tell me a little bit about this month's sponsor.
This month's episodes are brought to you in part by Scared Fishless Tackle Company. You'll find everything you need to be successful on the water there. These soft plastics are rugged. Will caught multiple fish on the same 6-inch diamondback worm during our most recent pike and bass trip to New York.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, he did.
He
Slaying
slayed them.
them.
Need a custom color or bait made? Hey guys, they do that too.
Noise.
Check them out at scaredfishless.com.
Scared Fishless.
Or on Instagram and the Facebooks at Scared Fishless.
Scared Fishless.
That is Bass-tastic.
You know it. Oh, man. You can't get enough of that.
I'm scared fishless over here.
I can see you shaking in your booties.
And your waiters gave you quivers.
Kyle, how you been, bud?
Good.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while. Had quite the hiatus there
I heard you're on vacation.
between bachelor parties and babysitting and everything else.
It's not at the same time.
No.
Whoa.
No.
Be like episode of The Hangover. Zach Galifianakis with
Carlos.
the little baby.
Yeah,
Little Carlos.
little Carlos. But I'm ready to hop back on the tricycle and give the potted world a try again.
You
Nice.
should.
It's been so long. You have a full beard, young man.
I wouldn't say fool. I'd say
For you.
fool in the
fuller.
making.
For you, it's looking good, bud.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Makes a man feel good inside when you compliment his facial hair.
Did you get to do any fishing on your vacays?
The West Virginia one, I did not get to do any fishing, but I was able to get out 2 or 3 weeks ago with one of our great listeners, Derek Keller.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch anything?
I got skunked, which is
Normal, par for the course.
I'm the worst fisherman in the world.
Go on.
Derek caught 2.
Caught two
what?
2 largemouths. No, not muskie. We actually we didn't have a whole lot of time, so we changed it up and just went up to Lake Onalani, which is above Redding.
Is that in Hawaii?
I wish.
Sounds like it.
Lake Onaloni.
But it's owned by the city of Redding, so there's no boats allowed, so you can only fish from the bank.
Mukalakahiki.
Yeah. Melikalika.
It's really hard to fish that lava structure on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's sharp.
It breaks line.
Burns up my hooks.
Hurts your feet. But yeah, we were able to get out. It was just good to be out and enjoying.
Anytime out with Derek Keller is probably a good time.
Yeah, and he was rubbing it in the whole time that, I'm this musky guy and I'm catching all these bass and you can't even catch one.
I don't remember him sounding quite like that, but
Yeah.
I'll trust you.
Yeah, close enough. my Stevie and Derek Keller impression are kind of
Very similar.
Very similar.
Do you have a Pikerowski one too?
I'm Brian.
How about Mickey Mouse?
Oh boy.
All right, I gotcha.
That was a little too good.
I'm sorry. I've been practicing that one.
Were you at the beach at all?
No, I haven't made it
Okay.
to the beach. I'm actually heading down there this weekend for Father's Day, so I hope to get out and wet a line.
Well, happy Father's Day.
But yeah. And then in addition to getting out with Derek, I was down in West Virginia chasing down the mighty rapids on the New River.
I think I saw that too.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
That was a pretty
Have
cool
you-
picture you had with the bridge in New River Gorge.
Yeah.
Right there.
Have you ever done that?
I have in the Poconos, but not like the Poconos doesn't even compare to West Virginia rapids.
Should we schedule an outing, an R2 outing for something like that?
I think we should, because we could easily do some smallmouth and trout fishing down there too.
In the rapids?
Maybe.
I'd have to get Stevie a whole extra box of Ned rigs, a case of them.
I wonder.
He'd get them hung up.
I'd love to see one of those rafts with 8 rods hanging out the back.
We're trolling.
Everybody's crapping themselves, and we're hooking up.
That'd be a fun time.
It'd be a lot of
Babylon Brooks.
Absolutely.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you were having fun.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good to be back though. Missed you guys.
How about food plots and stuff? You got a little bit of stuff going on, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's things are finally starting to take off. I guess that's the one benefit of this rain, you could say, is it's that's probably the only benefit of all this rain is it helps food plots and trees and everything else grow.
Yeah, you should be pretty well established, I guess, huh?
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. So, but I actually just cleared out another area down.
It didn't take them long. Trust me.
Now, define cleared out.
Take them long.
Kyle.
This is legitimately cleared out.
All right.
I had a piece of equipment from work that I had for the weekend. I cleared out a nice little area and planted some more clover. So, and yes, it's cleared out, Will. Don't worry.
Well, I can't wait to sit on the edge of it.
You planted some mountain laurel and some of that
oak limb
thistle,
Green,
thistle vines,
green briars,
greenbrier.
raspberry bushes. Yeah, all the stuff that really.
Yeah.
It's great cover.
Paper mache oak limbs.
Well, we always do give you a hard time about that, but no, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's good to be back. How you guys been?
Good, but that's proof positive right there. It's like there's always something happening in the outdoors. Like, even if your thing, your niche is whitetail, you can find something to be doing and keep busy on that all year long.
I saw
Absolutely.
a mini poll by the Exodus guys.
Yeah,
and they on the Instagrams, and they said, do you have most of your cameras out by now? And most of the people said no, that they didn't have them out. But it's time to start thinking about that.
Yeah, they're starting to grow.
the velvet rut
The velvet rut is on.
moving in.
Yeah.
Bucky, you've been on a little bit of a smoking rampage there, haven't you?
Well, yeah, Kyle, I fired up the old Riverside Grill, and Saturday I threw a pork butt on there, and that's a long smoke there, for about an 8-hour.
Do you have a triangle, old chuck wagon? You got a little ting, 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 ting. Come and get it.
I think if I ever had one, you guys would probably take it away as quick as you could give it to me.
Not if you would ring it and it means there's
Yeah, not in the right
delicious smoked meats
circumstances.
available.
Smoked
Pork
meats.
butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that takes a while. I mean, I was tired by the time I was done with that day.
That's a big hunk of meat. What was that? Like a 10-pound?
No, actually, it was a smaller, but it just I smoked it low and slow and put a good smoke on it, and it did fall apart. And
It's work, but it's rewarding work and it's fun to do. I mean, I can't tend to grill without, cracking a few cold brews.
Libations.
Oh, absolutely.
well, it's been a while since I cracked that many.
Yeah.
and but I did stick to something a little bit lighter than I normally do, and it did my belly fine. So
Yeah.
good on me.
Good on you, bud.
And then I did a couple of racks of ribs the next day.
Show
Good
off.
too.
Yeah.
My invite must have gotten lost in the mail.
I don't know which one I like. I like more, but I think I prefer a
Kyle
shoulder.
or Stevie?
The ribs are the.
Oh, you're talking about
rib.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
R2 brothers.
I've also been doing some fishing too, guys.
Is that right?
Yeah. Last Friday, more than 2 of us got
You know
together.
what? I'm going to stop you.
Please do.
Because I do not. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time getting this out.
Go ahead.
I do not get jammed up over dudes fishing. Like Stevie's having the best time of his life right now.
He is.
He's up in the New Yorks, and it seems like he's killing it. And I'm happy for him. Genuinely happy. I don't care that I'm not up there. I really don't.
It bothers me a little bit. I'd like to be with him.
I would like to be with him. Who wouldn't? But I'm saying, like, I don't let myself think like that. Friday, back it up to Friday.
Right.
I had no clue that people were taking half days and whole days and
Quarter days.
3/4 days.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
To go fishing.
Early morning rendezvous.
And when I saw that, and I look for Bucky because we work in a similar place,
Right?
And hey bud, you on your way in? Blah blah blah. Yeah, sometimes he picks me up and
Gives them right up from the parking lot.
yeah, it's a little bit of a
Valet.
haul,
Concierge service.
a little R2 valet.
And here you had to walk the whole way on Friday.
I don't care about that, but I just absolutely was blindsided like Lawrence Taylor coming from the backside, smacking me in the in the left ear with this information that Bucky's fishing on a boat with Ryan.
What?
And Catfish.
I was there.
Yes. you were, all 3 of you were there.
I don't know how that happened.
And actually,
For the record,
Yeah, if anybody remembers Lawrence Taylor, he hit really hard.
well, sure.
Reggie White, maybe. Like it just hit me like a ton of bricks.
The dude from the Blindside movie.
Mike
'cause it was called
Singletary.
Blindside.
Yeah, but he hit me on the blind side. Joe Jaravicious.
God bless you.
You might as well say that. I don't know who any of these people are.
I feel
Puz Lusney.
I feel what you're saying there, Will, because I live a good distance away from Catfish, and usually I can't make it out there.
Right.
But I at least appreciate he throws out, hey, got an open spot on the boat. You guys up here just start sending pictures. I'm like, what? Did I miss something? I'm like,
LeVar Kirkland.
So
did LeVar Kirkland show up on the boat?
For the record, I
Brian
feel
Dawkins.
exactly the same way as you and Kyle do, Will. Just so you know.
Yeah, it showed while
I
you were
was
holding up those
blindsided
fish
as well.
Really?
Yes. The reason I didn't put anything out, and the reason that it came to be the way that it was is Catfish reached out to me directly because he had a spot available. And that's the thing. When he has the boat empty,
Right.
he'll put it out and it's sort of first come, first serve.
Yep.
Right? But I think what happened is he told me he had another one of his buddies outside of this pod group that was on the boat with him. So he had a spot available and wanted to know if I was working Friday.
Yeah.
I said, well, I am. But I could probably go in a little bit late. Sure.
'Cause you're the boss. I get it.
Well, I show up. And it wasn't until I came around the corner of the marina that I see old Buckmaster Flex.
Chuck Wagon.
Buckmaster Flex.
Yeah.
So I was blindsided as well. I couldn't believe it.
So Catfish catfished you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I knew that you were coming. Catfish, I had a bad week and decided on Thursday that I needed to reset, and I chose Friday to do it.
Mental health day.
A mental health day.
Sure.
And I just didn't want to sleep in and not make something of a day earned off.
You want to be productive.
Exactly. Or to strike, to make hay with it, if you will. And
we didn't make any hay.
So I decided I'm going to call Catfish. You never know. Hopefully he's not working and he's got a spot. And he said, well, it's full, but he can fish with me about any time. He's a good guy. Let me give him a call. Be at the ramp at 5:30. I beat Catfish.
Did you?
To that ramp. Yeah.
You beat the Catfish.
Nobody beats him.
I beat him to the ramp.
You beat me too, and I live an
third
eighth
of the way.
distance.
That's how excited I was just to get. I knew that you were coming and we were catfishing you.
Yeah,
and we were catfishing the group as well.
It's a big setup.
Insane.
And it was well needed, and it was a great
I'm
day.
glad for you guys.
Sorry,
I can
It
see it in
looked
your.
very enjoyable.
I'm bitter.
Well, do you want to tell them? For me, it was enjoyable, but it was. I went through a chrysalysis.
It doesn't even make sense. So
He-
you
like a
I went through
butterfly.
I went through some changes.
changes.
You came out of your cocoon.
Yeah.
Or did you go into one?
Well, he actually, you know what? We'll use that metaphor because he did escape from his cocoon. Because what's one thing? I mean, when we go and fish Lake Mead with Catfish,
Right.
and Bucky's on the boat,
It's got to be
what do we end up doing? How does the day end?
Craptastic.
He gets all craptastic.
Right, because Catfish says, "I want Bucky to catch some crappie.
Yeah.
Let's go set up on the crappie spot, or go find the schools. Let's get on the crappie."
He panders to Bucky's rust belt.
Right.
God bless him too.
And Bucky said, "That cocoon, it's being shed."
What?
Because he said, "I want to catch a bass with
stripes.
finesse fishing."
Finesse fishing. I made myself fish.
Like he wanted a bass on the slow roll Ned rig, bouncing it through. Because Catfish and I, we were having a standard Lake Mead morning.
Yeah.
We're having a good morning, pitching
Yeah.
docks, everything's fine. And Bucky caught some fish,
Yeah.
but nothing on the Ned rig. Slow roll, finesse style fishing. And it was Catfish's new mission,
Really?
was to put Bucky on a bass on the Ned rig.
Bucky, stop moving. Did he say that? Quit moving. Quit jerking.
No,
Quit jerking it.
It was more words of encouragement.
Jerk it less.
We tried different colors, or if I'd hit something would hit on mine, we'd change up what he had.
Take Ryan's
Just
rod.
working on that. Actually, he did switch rods with you a few times.
with his rod that he was using to switch my rod
Take
up.
my Fenwick.
And I think the most apropos
You're waxing this
way
eloquently.
The best way I can explain this is that we watched Bucky transition through the three phases of a finesse fisherman. Because there are three
Distinct.
stages
Sex sounds
for finesse fishing. That's stage number one.
I did that. I did that in New York.
You did do that in New York, actually. Yeah. Just everybody's sitting there, and you just bounce the rod tip a little bit, and then you go, ooh. But it's not happening.
Yeah.
Nothing's working.
Yeah, I mean it's like swing and
How
a
many
miss.
sounds you put out there, it doesn't change the results.
Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
Close. And then, I don't know, 45 minutes in to phase one, we've progressed dramatically into phase two. Phase two is, I like to call it the cursing phase.
Yeah.
We cannot repeat those sounds.
No, because it's progressed now because you're trying to set the hook.
Yeah.
Right? And instead of going, oh, you've done that enough. Now it's just profanity that would make a sailor blush.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, and it's involuntary. It's something that you're
Absolutely.
It is in your central nervous system that these words come out.
Yeah.
It's the Tourette's part of fishing.
You hate anything with a gill at that moment.
Yeah.
I would add, Ryan, probably somewhere along in the phase two realm, you're probably losing one or two rigs too.
I don't know that you broke
Not
anything
losing them, but maybe up on
retrieving them
off of a dock.
You might have lost one.
I should rephrase.
Except for the one.
Rephrase that. Getting caught up on something.
You got it right into where the stitching is.
Might have lost one.
We're gonna have to just cut it.
But yeah, and I will give credit where credit is due. As far as all of the transitions that I've seen through all three phases,
Yeah.
Bucky is he's an artist in phase 2. I think he created some of his own words.
Paints his masterpiece.
I mean, there was no doubt that whatever that word was, it was profanity.
Yeah.
But it was like a made up language. He was speaking Klingon, I think. at one point.
Yeah. It was like Christmas Story.
Yeah. Yes.
The dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
A palette.
And then it happened.
Was phase 3.
And he hit phase 3, which is
Backpack.
setting the hook.
Setting a hook. Feeling that like, oh, whoa. And then I finally figured out that, like the little tap.
Yeah.
That was the perch or the smaller bass, and they weren't doing anything. They might just pull the bait, your plastic
on the
off.
end of it.
I want to go back to phase 2.
Okay.
Because there are words that are said on Catfish's boat that our generation will have to die before those words go away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Yes.
We had that. We talked about that ad nauseum. I think up in Soda's Point.
I think that's something that it's involuntary. You can't change it, and but stuff comes out that should
that are wrong.
It's just wrong.
Similar note. I don't think that anyone who understood what we were doing would hold it against us.
Right.
You can't be held accountable for that.
No.
It's like
Look
punching somebody in the face when they wake you up. You can't. You're not responsible.
Yeah,
Well, and if you do, you've not finished fish.
Yeah. Look at the screen on the depth finder. You'll completely understand. Yeah.
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 And there's fish there because Catfish and Ryan are catching them.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's true. I had a similar experience in the New Yorks. You know, absolutely, bud. But
once
I'm
hit
glad
phase
that you
3,
got to
boom.
phase 3. You rounded third, man. That's great.
It was a great day, and we didn't give up. And we talk about Catfish. He would have stayed out there until his beard turned gray. If that's what it took for me to catch that fish. And thank goodness I got it done.
It wasn't going to not happen.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Exactly.
What was it?
Nice, a nice largemouth.
Yeah.
Nice largemouth.
He was scratching it. He was a shad sandwich away from 4 pounds. I'll bet.
Really?
I mean, it was a nice one.
Shad sandwich.
A shad sandwich. And we all had a good day. It was successful for me. Like I was saying the other podcast ago that I was on, some days your goal is to catch one fish. And that was my goal that day. And it turned into 2 fish. So it was a great day. So I feel like I've felt the bite. I know I've gained experience.
It's another tool for your arsenal.
Right. I've made a step. I'm not a pro by any means.
What else you got going on, Buck? You got big changes.
What? Oh. But wait, we got to talk about on the way back.
There was one other thing.
Yeah, there's one other crazy
thing
thing on the way back to the dock.
Ever since Soda's Point last year, where I actually landed my personal best bass, when we happened to be trolling, like we weren't intentionally trolling. He was moving the boat. I left the line in the water. Last year.
I didn't see your personal best.
We saw pictures of it, but that was.
I'm just saying, we caught some big bass.
Yeah, this was 6-pounder.
Lord,
that we caught, and I was like, okay, go ahead and move the boat. I'll just troll, and landed that big one. So ever since then, it's like if I'm in a boat that's moving at a slow rate, I'm not wasting the time. Put a line in the water.
Yeah,
have something tied on or tie something on quick and throw something in. So we decided we were heading back to the dock
where Tommy worked.
Yeah, it's where he used to work. So as we're heading in, I kept a line in the water. Bucky had one in too. Just on our way back. And then sure enough, just boom, I'm hung up on a rock. And I'm yelling at Catfish, turn it off, we got to go back. And about the time the boat slows down, the rock starts to shake its head. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a fish on here.
And I'm reeling in my line.
And everybody's yelling, go live. Because the only thing it could be, we're in Lake Mead.
Striper.
And I'm trolling 4-inch paddle tail.
Striper.
So this is striper because this is a fish.
And it's a big one.
This is a significant fish.
Town.
And so we went live.
I had Striper Blitz playing in my head.
My elbow still hurts.
Striper Blitz.
I'm sore.
Right. From cranking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was working that fish, and I wasn't horsing it.
Not at all.
It was peel and drag.
Don't horse it, bud.
And then it would either swim in a little bit or it'd give up for a little while.
But it stayed deep.
I'm pulling line in.
It was deep.
And then it would pull. And then, it was pulling the whole boat. Cut to the chase. As we get this thing up, it's starting to rise up out of the water. I got a little bit of color. It had to be the biggest carp.
Carpe diem.
I've ever seen in my life.
Like a Kajewski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Size
Kajewski carp.
Size carp.
A Babs Kajewski special.
Without exaggerating, the headish area of this thing's bigger than a basketball.
Are you
It was
kidding?
huge.
And the midsection on this thing, I don't know, what am I holding up here? This is
that
massive.
1.5 feet, 18 inches.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a
Beach ball.
bread maker.
I have no idea how heavy this fish would have been. And you've seen the size of Catfish's net. We've had 40 plus inch pike.
7-pound bass.
We've had 7-pound bass in that thing. It's a big net.
Yeah.
This net wouldn't have held this carp.
Seriously.
It would not have held this carp. He tried one time to scoop it, and we kind of had it in the net. If he would have lifted it, it would have broke the net. And then it swam back away, and he came out of the net. And the next time that he got the net close to the water, it dove straight down, just popped the line. Fish gone.
All she wrote.
Oh my!
Couldn't boat the thing for any kind of pictures, but when my line broke, I was okay with that.
You would have had to crawl in the water with it and hug it like they do in Europe.
Carpzilla.
Why didn't we think of that, Bucky? That would have been great. I should have just jumped overboard right there.
Yeah.
It might have carried you under the Ryan. It was a big,
and it wasn't done fighting.
No.
I mean, when it actually decided to go,
yeah, it had fight.
Boom! It just pulled straight down and snapped the line.
You would have made a lot of Europeans proud.
Absolutely.
And for that
You
kind of
blew
fish,
it.
you were on light tackle, very light, ultra light tackle for that fish.
Yeah, for that size of a fish. Yeah.
I can't even fathom.
Can't even look at me.
Can't look at you right now.
So that was end of the day excitement that we weren't expecting.
Why not?
At all. And
Sure.
Now, it broke off, and I was okay with it. My arms were shot at that point. I would not have been okay with it had it surfaced and it had been a striper. I probably would still be crying.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I'm okay with it being a carp. We got visual.
Oh, yeah.
We saw how big this thing was. Off it goes to
Could have harpooned it.
give somebody else a fun day.
Carp Madeira.
Yeah. Catfish Ahab.
Okay. And then, 24 hours later, we were back at it again, brother.
Yeah, we were.
And we picked up
You guys had
another
a big
third.
week.
Yeah, big weekend of fishing. Well, Brian had a bigger weekend. He even put 3 days in a row, I think. Yeah.
Pikarowski.
Ryan,
Oh, I thought you said Brian.
over there. Trash Panda.
What did we end up doing on Saturday? I want to hear Will's side of this.
Yeah, Will.
All systems were go for wet wading.
The stars were aligned.
I saw 5'5", I think it was, on the old hydrograph, which 5'5" at Harrisburg is perfect for where we wet wade.
Yeah, north of.
North of Harrisburg.
On the Susquehanna.
On the Susquehanna, as they say, out west in the Missouris.
Yeah.
It's on. I am so ready to do this. I'm still ready to do it. It is one of my favorite things, top 10 things I do in my life.
Yeah.
Consistently, wet wading is one of my favorite things. And I know, especially after the weekend, it's a shade early. But that's not the point.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't
It's
have-
only a shade early because of the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hydrographs are correct, but there's still a lot of water out there right now. And different places, different holes. Like there's still just a lot of water going through on that river. We made it. We're like, let's do this. All systems go. we and we met at our favorite little meetup. We had a little breakfast, and we got out on the water.
Some of us had our breakfast by ourselves in our truck. Poor Bucky.
Bucky's.
And who doesn't bring their phone in with them though?
Both of us.
Yeah.
Why would we? We're all together.
Yeah.
Who's gonna call us?
Yeah.
Our friends.
You can see their truck in the parking lot.
So Will and I were still standing there trying to pay, and Bucky had already gone through the line. So he's like, "All right, I'm going to go eat, or I'm going to go sit down to eat, or what? I don't know what all
So
you
I'm gonna
might
go
have
eat?
said." So and there's a little seating area.
Yeah.
So when Will and I
Nice
finished
little
paying,
cafe.
we walk back into the seating area.
Honestly, don't do things different.
Yeah.
Once I do something once, it's
That's
kind of like
the way it's gonna be.
plan. Yeah.
But then we walk back to the seating area. Bucky's not there. I'm like, oh, maybe he went to the restroom quick. So I sat down. Will sat down. We started eating.
Dumping
and then
Bucky.
Will looks up at one point and he goes, "Look at that guy out there." And I turn and look over my shoulder. There's Phil looking all lonely, finishing his sandwich.
Just waiting in his truck.
Just staring right in at you guys too.
I was like wondering where are these guys at?
It's taking so long.
Yeah.
Ryan's credit card must have been declined.
Man. Maybe someone had to go to the bathroom. I didn't know.
So
Anyway.
wouldn't either one of us brought our cell phone in, as you guys alluded to, and I'm like,
You sent a different alarm.
yeah, it's a modern day smoke signal. I said, watch this, and I hit the panic button on my truck because my truck was parked beside his, and it's like, bam, 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 and everyone's looking around, and Bucky's looking around like, what? We got a good laugh out
And
of
then
it.
I figured out what was going on, and I didn't realize you guys didn't have your telephone. So I sent a text into you saying, "Hey, I think there's something wrong with your truck, bud. Your alarm's going off," or something to that effect. Just to be
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
We didn't get that till later.
not until way later.
So that was a little funny interaction with Bucky, but we finished our breakfast and we got on the river. The river's chilly,
There's a mite bit chilly.
and I'm ready to go.
But even by the rule that Brian told us about, that the kayak clubs or whatever follow, that 120, we were still okay because I'm pretty sure the water was 60-ish,
Yeah.
as was the air. So we were over that 120 rule.
The morning started off, I thought, a little bit cooler.
It was a little
like in
brisk.
the 50s. The sun made it warmer.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know that Bucky would have persevered had we not been there to help him out.
No way would I have. If I was by myself and I just stepped 2 foot into there, nope, out of there.
You'd have been at the Perkins before you could
time to go to the IHOPs.
We're out. Ryan and I are out past the point of no return, pretty much, and Bucky is still on the bank, and it got to the point where I was calling him names. And I hate
shaming
going there. I hate doing that, but I had to call him names.
He did it.
Bucky was like the scared puppy standing on the edge of the water, not sure if he wants to jump in or not.
I'm like, I can't wait to talk about this on the podcast.
It's like when you fish
human
that,
paraquat.
you fish that style of fishing. You hate to do it, but you love to make him work.
I'm just like, so eventually I'm just like, if you get out here where we are and you're still cold, you can go back to your truck. All you have to do is get past the berries.
It's the golden rule.
And then you're good. You know what I mean? For the most part. If you're still cold after the berries have acclimated, then,
Go see your doctor.
Then it's cold. Yeah.
And I did explain this to Bucky. We noticed this 2 years ago when we were fishing, and I have scientific evidence that proves this. But the tributaries and the different branches of the Susquehanna that meet up just north of Harrisburg in the area where we were, those different branches, when they come together, the water actually stays separate.
Yeah,
So
there's channels.
Everything that's coming in is a little bit colder than what was already there from the north. So the closer you get to the center, the warmer it is.
Yeah, maybe in
There's
another
scientific
month,
evidence,
Maybe
but-
in another month, that's going to be. But there was not a big difference between those two areas this time. There, I could tell.
You said on
yeah.
the way out, it is colder right here.
It is a titch colder.
It is always colder right at the shore.
What unit of measurement is a titch?
A little bit.
It's Lithuanian.
It is Lithuanian.
I read it in the deeper instructions.
Proceed.
You could have your temperature read to you in degrees, Fahrenheit, or tiths.
Or titch.
Titches.
and you know, and besides the water temperature, the river was up probably at least 6 to 12 inches too high. It was running real fast. We would have had
4 to 6. I'll give you that. Well, our grassy islands weren't there.
our little rock stops where we can usually put our bags down and tie on something different or change.
Yeah, actually,
up.
Kyle, do you remember where if we go straight out, like you would keep walking and there were some rock outcroppings, but then all of a sudden, like big giant Kyle isn't up to his nose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we couldn't even see those rocks.
Ah.
Yeah. And Will was like, if we just keep going out straight, and I was like, I remember Kyle disappearing.
Nope,
that's not doing that.
I thought that too. I was like, oh man, I can't believe how shallow. Oh, there it is.
Found it.
Found it. On the hole.
I know there's a route through there. I know it.
I think it's upstream of that.
Yeah.
Of that, whatever that formation or structure would be.
Yeah.
I believe upstream of it, there's a shallower route.
But the current was such that you couldn't go downstream like we normally do.
Because you would have been fighting.
You would have died coming back.
It would have been rough coming back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So instead, what we did when we went straight out, then we actually turned and walked upstream a little bit and fished. But here's the thing. I feel the same way in all of the creeks, and any of the creek fishing I've done so far this year has not been successful. The water is still too cold.
Yeah.
The fish just aren't turned on yet. I know guys are catching.
Guys are catching. The YouTubes, the
Right.
Instagrams are just showing those smallmouth guys killing it.
Yes.
And everyone's catching it. It's just we're not in the right place. So
It's locations, and I really believe it has to do with the water temperature.
yeah.
They're pushed back in those little tributaries. They're in those little pockets where they've got some warmer water, and those aren't the places where we wet wade.
I think the next plan before it gets too warm is that I think we're going to do a float.
Yes, I'm all about it. Let's
We're
try
gonna do
that
the kayak floats.
Oh, baby.
because the float can be a combination.
Because you
wet
can always
wade and
pull on off.
kayak trip.
Yeah. Do we have to shave mustaches for this one?
No Freddie Mercury float trip. No.
All right.
You should.
Just checking.
We are still looking. We need a guy that can maintain a good mustache. And I think that's the next step for us.
I'm going to use a different ladder.
Yeah.
So if that's the next step, I'm going to use a different ladder. Yep.
Deaky grows a good mustache.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Wait a second.
For the village people, it is.
What are you looking at there?
You know how you were mentioning earlier when we were talking about your beard that you kept saying like if you trim it back, it's like it's the grass, right? The more you cut it, the better it grows in.
Not sure.
Just
don't remember that conversation.
leave that little caterpillar going.
That mustache
underneath
is
your
sweet,
nose.
bud.
Yeah,
Next time you trim that beard up, leave that there. So we decided. What did we decide? We were calling that preseason scouting
for wet wades.
for wet wading. So we're just a touch early.
Smidge.
I don't think so.
And I want to officially apologize to everyone who follows us on Facebook because the audio did not come through on the little live video we were trying to do.
Too bad.
Nope.
So sad.
You guys didn't get to hear us sing
I'm sorry.
the JDC song that we're trying to make famous
You'll have to wait till next
about
time.
fishing the Susquehanna.
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 Fishing with them
Rotten River boys. Like he gets it down in like guttural.
Oh yeah,
boys.
We're in his soul.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe
Hang
it.
on.
There's a part of us, he took some Rotten River with him back to Missouri. Rotten River boys. You guys got to check that out if you haven't seen it. It's on, did we post it? Let's post it.
We should.
Yeah.
We'll post it for real.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we've shared it out because it was pretty epic. But yeah.
And after that, after we got out of that cold water, because we didn't last very long for us. What, an hour maybe in there?
Which, I mean, if they were hitting, we'd have caught one.
It took a while to assess. That we were in the Barrens, I think. I call that the Barrens because you're gonna catch a fish, but it's gonna be small. It's not gonna amount
There's no
to
structure.
There's no structure. It's low structure, and that's one of my famous stories that I love to tell about wet wading with JDC is that we're
bringing it all together.
We're standing in the Barrens. And again, I'm telling him what we're going to be doing, what to expect, and how this is going to go down.
Sure, giving him some instruction.
And I look over, and he's reeling in a bass, and I said, "Are you catching a bass while I'm telling you how to catch a bass?"
Well, good instructions, bud.
I guess.
Those who can't do.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's fun.
So, that's where we were. We were kind of like in this little barren section.
Yeah.
And it's hit or miss.
And I was cold by the time we got out. I will not lie about that.
Oh, when I made the comment about the pins and needles in the fingers, that really set in. About 10 or 15 minutes after you get out of the water.
Yeah.
Once, all your little capillaries start warming up.
Right.
Opening up and all.
Mine were doing it because they were so cold. Like they were that tingly, numb and tingly before I even got out.
So are you guys admitting that Deke and Stevie were right that you guys shouldn't have gone out?
No.
We were preseason scouts.
We went out for the appropriate amount of time to get what we needed to get done for the job that day.
Understood.
Preseason scouting.
Without a fish attached to a hook on a line, we still had a successful
tons
epic
of
morning.
Information was gathered that day.
The intel was unbelievable.
It sounds it.
Stellar.
I'm looking forward to the next wet wading trip.
So after that,
what did we do after
we
that?
loaded up the truck and rode up to the Surface Camo Lifestyle.
I had to check this place out.
The legendary, like riding mini bikes and monster trucks. And
I got to see where it all went down.
Yeah.
Did you get to drive the deuce in
the compound?
I saw all of that stuff.
Okay.
I wouldn't try to impose in such a way where I'm like, give me the keys. But we got to see the showroom up there for Surface. So all the Muddy Girl Surface and the Grit House stuff, like, is just a cool place. And it was neat to actually now put my own eyes on this place where I've seen pictures and some of the videos that we've put out and actually walk into this place and see it for myself.
Yep.
It's really cool.
It's a haul to get there from where we are. But we were like,
part of the
way there.
Yeah.
So you just, if you have a nice little Saturday or whatever.
Yeah, if you're fishing north of Harrisburg on the Susquehanna, 'cause that's how I'm always going to say it from now on.
The Susquehanna.
It's hard to shake.
You might as well just make it a trip, part of the trip.
Right.
Is to go there because it's definitely worth it. And, I mean, price-wise, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Prices that they've got on their stuff.
I picked up a long sleeve kind of performance deal that we can, wet wade in and what was it, like $25 or something like that.
Boom.
And hopefully I'll get to run into Catfish between now and when this airs. So before he knows that I was up there, and I'm going to just show up with my Grit House shirt. Because he loves that Grit House sweatshirt. And if I just show up with my own Grit House shirt, he's going to be like, where'd you get that?
Where you been?
You been talking with Surface?
You've been talking with Service.
Were you at the Great House?
They told me you were at the Grid House.
Yeah, and it's funny because Will was saying this as we're standing there and we're looking around the shop and I'm seeing all of the cool stuff. He was like, that Grit House line is like, it just screams Catfish.
If there ever was a brand that he could just fall into and be a part of and be like, he can roll out of bed and represent that brand. Like, it's not like he has to do anything different.
Nope.
That is a cool concept for guys that are like gearheads and guys that just do things.
Visionaries. Too.
Yeah. They don't have to stop at Lowe's to get the newest, hammer. Like, these guys build stuff. They're like somewhere between like Underhill Forge J and like
MacGyver,
Bill Nye the Science Guy, or MacGyver. Yeah, it's like they have this place in the spectrum, and it's the Grid House. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when you go there, we've already talked about Travis like ad nauseum with having the monster trucks and the Mustangs with flames coming out of it, and the Ryan loved the school bus and
there's a school bus. It looks like an ice cream truck. What was the game Twisted Metal?
Yeah.
Twisted Metal was a video game where you used to have to pick your vehicle. And these
Crazy
are all
Clown.
like post-apocalyptic, jacked up, like cool vehicles. And every one was different, but each one was super cool. He has that just in a line.
He literally has
like
that.
it's just a line of these vehicles, and you're like, every one of these is awesome in its own way.
Yeah.
And
I wanted that old school cop car.
And they're
That thing
real.
is so
Yeah.
sweet.
They're absolutely real. That Lifton Hummer, so you already have a Hummer, but then lift like an H1, like the original Hummer.
Yeah, this is military.
Like
grade.
military
okay.
Hummer. And then he lifted it like monster.
How high?
Like
Do you know
just
what
under a monster
what
truck.
the military calls a 5-ton pickup?
Yeah.
I thought it was a 5-ton at first, and I'm like, wait, that's a Hummer.
Wow.
Like it's on like a 5-ton axle
Big dog.
with the big wheels. It's crazy cool.
Nice.
Hey,
But he'll take something, a bunch of nothing, and turn it into something. Has a bunch of art. He has a bunch like Grid House is a really cool concept. So it was cool, like I said, to get Ryan up there and check that out.
Excited to see that fun stuff.
Cool.
For me, then, as Bucky alluded to, I did have a third day of fishing
It doesn't even make sense.
because I had
In a
to,
row.
I
How's
had
that
to
even
get
allowed?
I had to get Hunter out. He wasn't going to put up with me doing all this fishing without him, so he took Hunter out on Saturday or Sunday morning.
Where'd you guys go?
We grabbed your mom and ran over to Pincha.
Oh, gotcha.
We went to, I believe the way I put it in my post was, we ran up to Dinktown. It's just south of Lunkerville.
Gotcha.
Go to Lunkerville and keep driving.
But you
show
caught
up in
something, though.
Dinktown. Yeah, we did. We each landed a couple bass, nothing major.
And that's a tough
and
lake, bud.
And we tried different techniques. We tried new places in the lake. Lost a bunch of lures. That's par for the course when you're throwing a lot of soft plastics. But good morning, nonetheless.
Yeah. Looked like a good one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You know what they say?
better than a
Bad
good
day of
work.
fishing is better.
Especially
Pretty much better than being anywhere else.
You know it.
especially for a third day in a row. I mean, that's always like I said, this weekend, Friday and Saturday was the first time in a year that I could think of that I fished 2 days in a row since we went to Canada. So
Yeah.
I feel blessed, and it was great. It was a great feeling, and it definitely reset me, and it was exactly what the Bucky needed. Oh, there I go again, third person. I never do that.
You never do.
No, ever.
Yeah, and lastly, it was 2 days ago, and this was not on the koozie, so don't get bent out of shape, Will. I'm sorry. Look, he's just staring at me.
Yeah.
He won't even talk.
He
right
won't
now.
even talk.
He's just
Literally,
staring at me.
Just
Like a
staring at him.
statue.
I'm pre-fishing. I feel like it's like a tournament style thing where I'm pre-fishing for you guys. But I did hit up the Conewaga Creek near my house
Oh,
again.
okay.
Just trying, and it's all super ultralight tackle, and it's smallmouth. It's bluegill, it's panfish of sorts, it's rock bass. They're just not hitting.
Is the water staying there too? I mean, from all the rain, or is it calmed down there and then it
It's gotten better. It's definitely gotten better since the last time we were out. The levels are about where they usually are through most of the summer. Mm-hmm. There is still just a little bit of stain, maybe a foot of visibility. You know, still can't quite see the bottom. You can make out some rock structure for the bigger rocks, but the fish just aren't biting. I mean, that's the kind of place where you throw a little 1/8 ounce jig head with a Mr. Twister tail on the end. Then it doesn't matter what color of anything. You throw that in the water and you drag it back to you, and something's going to hit it.
Oh,
that's the section of creek that we like to fish because it's just fun.
Yeah,
and it wasn't happening.
Oh,
I think in an hour and a half we caught maybe 2 or 3.
Were you wet waiting there, or was you just off the bank?
Again, Will's just staring at me. He's already not talking to me.
I'm sick of you.
There he goes.
Sick of you wet waiting with that.
Was the water temperature still down?
It was cold.
So
it was
that
chilly.
probably had something to do with it a little bit.
Between the water temperature and the clarity too, I think plays into it. But for the most part, I think it is the water temperature. Well, it's not on yet.
Yeah, temperatures for the past week, 2 weeks have been pretty chilly.
In the evenings, especially too.
Yeah.
One day we'll have decent weather.
Someday
we'll have fairly warm temperatures and no rain. I feel like we've only had one or the other.
From your lips to God's ears, bud.
Yeah. Well,
wink, wink, big guy.
You and I feel like.
What's that?
I feel like we did this current some justice.
You ain't lying.
Absolutely. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, buddy.
So, where can people find us?
Well, as always, they can check us out at RuttenRiverPursuits.com. Check us out on all the social media outlets. You got your Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search Rutten River Pursuits. Check out the YouTube channel at searching for Rutten River Pursuit Podcast. Oh, and speaking of podcasts, the podcast itself always available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.
I heart those radio.
iHeartRadio.
You know we do.
Great week, fellas.
Oh, wait. Hey, don't forget. This episode is brought to you in part by Smoke in the Grove Barbecue Festival.
Smoke in the Grove.
That's being held July 26th and 27th in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. For more information, head over to smokeinthegrove.com.
Smokeinthegrove.com.
Love me them burn ends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also brought to you in part by Moses Family Jerky.
Get out of town.
Oh, yeah. Get 15% off your next order by heading over to mfjerky.com. Make sure you use that promo code JerkyPursuits15.
Great week, fellas.
You know it.
Great week.
Looking forward to some more fun. Can't wait.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see what we do with another week, guys.
Good stuff.
All right. Thanks, boys.
See ya.
Peace.
Rig 'em weedless.
Over the weekend, I did fire up the old Riverside smoker and did a pork butt and did some, then the next day, some ribs. Smoked a butt.
Get up in that. Yeah. Try it again. Sorry.
Say pork butt again.
We ruined it.
Without making eye contact with I feel dirty. Will looks up at one point and he goes, "Look at that guy out there." And I turn and look over my shoulder. There's Phil, looking all lonely, finishing his sandwich.
Just waiting in his truck.
Just staring right in at you guys, too.
I was like wondering where are these guys at?
It's taking so long.
Yeah.
Ryan's credit card must have been declined.
Man. maybe in
There's
another
scientific
month,
evidence,
Maybe
but-
in another month, that's going to be. But there was not a big difference between those two areas this time. I could tell.
You said on
yeah.
the way out, it is colder right here.
It is a titch colder.
It is always colder right at the shore.
What unit of measurement is a titch?
A little bit.
It's Lithuanian.
It is Lithuanian.
I read it in the deeper instructions.